Well, hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to make a video about the 10 things that I love about my Honda S2000. Unfortunately, it's decided to rain today and one of my GoPros has also decided to stop working. So I'm down to the one GoPro and a bit restricted into what terms of what I can do. So let's go for a drive. So the first thing is something that I was a little bit apprehensive about when deciding whether to buy this car or not, and that is the red interior. In photos it looked really overwhelming and I was quite unsure whether it was the right thing, but I decided to take the plunge and I'm glad that I did because I actually really like it, and it's quite unique because it's a more rare combination to have the full red interior, so I think that adds a little bit of character to the car. And it's a sports car, so you kind of want it to be a bit, in your face or out there or whatever. And I think this is it, but without being too overwhelming, like it seemed in the photos. So really pleased with that. So if anyone else is thinking, "Oh, do I want the full red interior?" My opinion is that it's good. In person, it is less overwhelming than it is or can be in photos. Another thing is the paint. I was also a bit unsure about the silver paint. Being a sports car, I thought maybe it was could be a little bit boring, but it's actually really, really nice. The Silverstone has got a really nice metallic flake to it, and yeah, in the light, it's quite nice. It's quite subtle, but it's quite nice. I really quite like it. And that coupled with the full red interior, then you kind of get that more sort of sports car out there in your face, but at the same time it's got a nice, more subtle exterior paint. So I think that's a really nice combination with the Silverstone exterior and the full red interior. So probably one of the biggest things that I love about this car is that it's plain and simple, it's just fun to drive. Every input feels really good, and that enhances the experience and just makes it an enjoyable car to drive around, even when you're not going at 10 tenths. Not that I ever drive at 10 tenths. I'm not that good of a driver. But whether you're having a spirited drive through some twisty roads, or whether you're just driving to and from work through some back streets or something like that, it's just a fun car to drive all of the time. And I think that it was the biggest thing that I've been looking for in a car, and perhaps why I've been through so many. It's just a car that's just fun to drive all the time. It's not so overpowered that you have to push it to completely illegal speeds in order to be enjoying it. It's just fun just driving normally, but it's also fast enough that when you want to enjoy the speed in a safe environment, you can. So that was kind of the big thing with the Skyline, and why I got rid of it was because it was just a bit boring to drive. It kind of had, you could get to 0 to 60 kilometers an hour, which is the speed limit most places, in no time, but it was really boring to get there, whereas this can still be exciting. You can hit VTEC before you get to 60 and get that shove in the back, and it's just a more fun car to drive all of the time. So I'm really pleased with that aspect of the car. Speaking of hitting VTEC, that's another thing I love about this car is VTEC. That's one of the great characteristics about the car that makes it so fun and so enjoyable to drive. Another thing that I really love that makes this car so much fun is its 9,000 RPM redline. I love revvy cars. I had my RX-8, and one of the things that appealed to me about that car was the fact that it revs so high. The difference being is Honda's VTEC system just makes it so enjoyable and so rewarding to hit those high revs, to hit 9,000 RPM, whereas in the RX-8 it just, there was nothing at the top end. There was no surprise once you hit those high RPMs like there is when you hit VTEC in the S2000, and it just adds so much to the experience of driving the car. It's just really, really enjoyable. Another thing is the fact that it's a convertible. On a day like today, when it's a little bit rainy, it's not raining right now, but you know, that you can just put the roof up, so that's fine. But on a nice day, like the convertible, it's just so nice. You got the wind rushing past you. It's really good. It just adds. I think some people don't really care for convertibles, and I didn't know whether I did initially when I bought my convertible 350Z. That was one of the things that I was umming and ahhing about. I was like, do I want a convertible? Do I want a hardtop? But I really enjoyed having a convertible, and once you've tried it, you're either going to love a convertible or you're not. And some people do, and some people don't. And I apparently really like the option of a convertible. On those really nice warm evenings, or it's the best. At the moment it's peak summertime, so during the day here in South Australia it gets really quite hot and the UV is really high, so I don't always drive with the roof down. But in the morning when I'm driving to work, it's fantastic because the sun's at a lower level, it's not gotten hot, the UV's not gotten up there yet. It's just quite good. Yeah, I really like a convertible. And one of the things that I think adds to this car is the fact that it is convertible. And one thing that's really great about it is that it was built to be a convertible, and I think that makes a difference. One of the things with my 350Z was I actually noticed the flex. Like, you could tell that the car was not as rigid as a hardtop. You would feel that flex. But I don't get any of that with the S2000, which is fantastic, because it was built from the ground up to be a convertible sports car. So, not that I've had experience with many different convertibles, but I think it being purpose built that way definitely helps. Because you can take the roof down, you get excellent visibility when the roof is down. Obviously it's quite poor, and that was one of the things that I didn't like about the car when the roof was up. But when the roof is down, you can see really well. You have no blind spots, and you can reverse out of anything and you can see everything. And because the car itself is so small, even when the roof is down and you can see everything behind you, you know exactly where everything is. With my 350Z convertible, the car was still quite big, so even with the roof down, when you're reversing out, you've got to be a little bit careful, just because you've got a bit of a bulge over the back there. So that's another thing I really like about it. With the roof down, is the visibility is just fantastic, and that just makes the driving experience all the more fun and engaging because you can see everything that's going on around you. Another thing I love about this car, and another reason why I ended up getting rid of the Skyline, is the transmission. It's a manual, and my Skyline was an auto, and it just wasn't that fun to drive. It's just so engaging to shift gears yourself, and it just makes it so much more fun. As you can see, there's a bit of a theme with the things I like about this car. It's just fun. And that's it. And the shifter in the S2000 is really good. If you've never experienced one, Honda transmissions, manual transmissions, are just really good. And that's not just my opinion, that's a lot of people's opinion who know a lot more about cars than I do. It's just a well-known thing. Honda makes really good shifters. And yeah, this one is no exception. This is probably one of the best. And yeah, like I said, it just adds so much to the driving experience and so much to the pleasure of driving. It's not just the shifter that has really good inputs. The steering feels quite good. Like, it's well weighted. And that all just adds to the sports car driving experience. And that's just another thing that I really love about this car. And just, I mean, the whole car as itself, it's just a raw sports car, and that's just what I want from a car, I guess. Maybe later on in life, when I can afford to have a daily and a sports car, I'll get sort of, a daily car that's a little bit less of a raw sports car. But I think if I can only have one, I want the fun raw sports car, and that's what I've got in the S2000. And it is my daily. I drive it to and from work every day. I've got a half an hour or a little bit more commute to work and then back as well, and I love it. It's fun to drive even during that commute, not just like now when I'm up in the hills going for a drive through some twisty roads. So yeah, that's what I really love about this car. It's just a raw sports car, and it feels it. Like it's noisy in here, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. All of the inputs feel really good. It just feels like you feel really connected to the road, and that's what I want. And the final thing on the list is the looks of the car. I think it's a really, really good looking car. Yeah, I don't know, does anyone disagree with that? I think the consensus is that the S2000 is a nice looking car by most people. And yeah, even with the AP1 with the smaller wheels, like I think the newer one, the facelift one, maybe looks a little bit better. I mean, usually that is the case, you know, you refine things. It's got the bigger wheels on there, but definitely I think this one has a unique charm to it with the AP1 look and the wheels. Like, it's really perfect for the time, and it just has a more classic feel to it. I mean, I think that this is going to be one of those future classic cars. I think if you live in the United States, where you got the 2.2 litre in the AP2, if you're considering which one to buy, I think get the AP1, because I think the high revving nature of the 2 litre is how the Honda S2000 was designed to be. It's at its purest form, and I think in time that'll prove to be the one that is sought after. So yeah, that's it. That's the 10 things that I love about the Honda S2000. Comment below any additions you'd like to add to the list, anything that you agree or disagree with, just let me know. And check out my 10 things I hate about the Honda S2000 video to see what things kind of bug me, and maybe you'll agree or disagree with a few of them. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe if you haven't already. The more people that subscribe, the more motivated I am, I guess, to continue making videos. I've been getting some nice feedback about my videos, so that's really, really positive for me. It's good motivation to continue making videos. I'm really trying hard to stick to making a video every week, even though I've only got like 44 subscribers, I think, at this point. But yeah, I want to put out the content because I want to grow the channel, and I want to take you guys along with me. So yeah, have a good one.